Welcome back to Real Estate 101. I'm your host, Joe Terceira, and today we're going to continue our discussion on home insurance and talk a little bit about preparing your home for the winter months. And I'm pleased to be joined once again by Robert Atto of Atto Associates. Robert, welcome back to the show.
Joe, thanks for having me back today.
So Robert, tell me, what can homeowners do to prevent their plumbing from freezing in the winter months?
Well, I like to think there's a few things you should think about. Insurance is not only about protecting you when you have a claim, but I like to think we're here to prevent you from possibly having a claim too. So the important thing to do is look for your outside water shut-off valves. Make sure they're drained. Go to the inside, locate the cut-off valve, and make sure it's shut off. The other thing you want to look for, of course, is your main water supply into your house. A lot of people have no clue where this is when they purchase a house. They know it's somewhere. So what you want to do is go find that main water supply. And if anything happens to happen in your house, even after you've drained all your outside water supplies, make sure your hoses are put away. The first thing you want to do is go find this main water shut it off, and call your plumber.
All right. And what about the exterior of the home, like windows and doors?
Well, the exterior of the home, I mean, there's things you can do to save on your home heating bill, of course, by putting insulation around the windows and doors. You want to make sure that any vegetation on the outside of your house has been removed. The other thing you want to do is go to your chimney or attic and make sure any exposed openings are covered, so to prevent vermin from coming in or squirrels from into your house, which can cause a lot of damage, as pointed out in previous shows.
All right. So what about your roof, your gutters, your downspouts? What can you do to prevent problems with that?
Well, here's a good time, I mean, to look at your roof. I mean, a lot of times we don't bother looking up, right? We're just looking forward all the time, but it's a good time to check if you have any missing shingles, and get those fixed as well. To clear out your gutters, because any buildup in your gutters will cause the water to back up through your roofing tiles and can cause quite a bit of damage. So this time of year, get up on your roof, just make sure all your tiles are secured. If they're not, call a roofer, make sure they're fixed, and you should be good to go. All
right. And what about foundations? Because foundations are a big thing. What can homeowners do to prevent foundation problems, or what can they look for?
Well, I mean, what you can look for is, I mean, there's always signs of leakage prior. But as I said, what you want to do is just make sure everything is cleaned away from your house, that your property is sloped away from your building. So when the winter thaw comes, that all the water is actually flowing away from your house, not towards your house. So just a little preventative, make sure your leaves are all cleaned up and everything is flowing away from your house. Check for exterior cracks on the outside of your house. Because if you see any on the outside, chances there are some on the inside. So you should call an expert to get in and get that fixed before it becomes a really big problem.
Right. And what about the furnace? What can homeowners do to prepare?
Well, the first thing you should do if you don't have one already is get a furnace contract, a yearly contract where somebody will come in and check your furnace.
Service the
furnace, make sure it's in good working condition. As well, most of the times these people will clean your vents and make sure there's not a lot of dust buildup or anything that could cause potential loss. The most important thing as well you might want to consider is putting a CO2 detector near your furnace just to make sure there's no leakage.
Carbon monoxide?
Carbon monoxide detectors, yes. Very important nowadays, and the cost is minimal, probably $50, and it could save your life. So make sure you do it.
So another extension of the heating in the home is the fireplace. What can homeowners do to prepare?
Well, what a lot of people might not realize is that when you're using your fireplace over a number of years, creosote will build up in the chimney, which is a leading cause of fire and can cause considerable damage to your home. So what you should do is call in somebody to make sure your chimney is properly cleaned. If in case you have a wood stove, that they can do the proper maintenance on your wood stove as well. A little preventative measure goes a long way to make sure you're protected.
All right. And what about smoke and carbon monoxide detectors?
Well, a great safety factor for you and your family. One thing you should make sure is they're placed on each level of your home, especially the fire alarms. The other thing you need to do with this plan is have a plan for you and your family to exit the home in case the alarm is going off. Don't worry about putting the fire, get out and take care of your family safety first.
So for today's final question, how can homeowners prepare in the event of an emergency?
Well, in the winter months, as you know, many things could happen, though. One of the biggest factors could happen is you could lose power altogether. So what you should do is make sure you put a preparative kit together. That includes some of the basic necessities. The flashlight would be fantastic, a radio so you can hear any emergency broadcasts that might be going on, some blankets, and it might not hurt to have a backup generator, maybe to keep your sub pump going in event of a flooding or anything like that. So be prepared. It could happen to you, and just look ahead and make sure you have these things, and everybody in the family knows where they are.
All right, Rob, thanks very much for coming on today's show.
Thanks for having me back again today.
If anybody has any more questions or would like more information on home insurance, they can get in contact with Atto Associates. I'm your host, Joe Terceira. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.